Okay, the last step now is to actually set up my Mayo stand. And you'll want to make sure that you did that count before you put your instruments on the Mayo stand. We are going to be doing instruments today for a basic exploratory laparotomy. As we go on in the semester, we'll learn other setups. But the first thing I'm going to do is take off my stringer. So I just pull this off, pull off the little plastic end, and pull my ringer out. Now, this is not a counted item and is typically hid underneath your pants. If your instruments have a tendency to fall down, as you can see mine are, because I hate roll towels, what you can do is take a perforated towel clip and put it right there, and you can lean your instruments against that, and that should help them stay up. Of course, today it's struggling. All right, so my next thing I'm going to do is, as you saw, I did have a safety zone over here. Before you set up any Mayo stand, you want to think about what side are you going to stay on. Now, I'm going to be coming in on this side of the patient, so I want to have my safety zone closest to me, because as the tech, I will be standing right here. So all of my instruments are going to be lined up so that they're closest to the surgeon. So I will first know, you have to do that priority setup. So I know the first thing I'm probably going to need is a blade. Now most doctors will make an incision with a 10 blade, and that will go on my number 3. So again, make sure that you have that notch up and always use an instrument. And I will slide that puppy on. And then that's gonna go right over here. And if you see, the blade should always be facing towards the patient's feet. That way, if anybody rests their hand on the Mayo stand, there's less chance of them hurting themselves. Now, this needle holder, I'm just gonna place over by my box because I know I'm gonna need that later for suturing. So now I think about my next instruments. I'm gonna need something for grasping. Always, you can never go wrong with having 2 DeBakey's on your field. DeBakey's are used most often in surgeries. So I'm gonna put my 2 DeBakey's up here, and then usually a tissue with teeth, in case they need to go through any muscle. So it's that thumb with teeth, so it's got those small teeth. Next, I need to put scissors up. I always put up first a DeBakey for every single case. That was a nice catch there, I thought. My DeBakey, I like to put them next to my sharps because technically it's a sharp, and then a suture scissors. I know where my other scissors are. They're easily accessible at my ring or on my back table, so I'm not going to worry about anything after that. Next, I'm going to need clamps. So what I'm going to do, because we only have 4 cryos in here, I'm going to put up 2 cryos and 2 Kellys. So I'm going to pick those up and then just make sure that you close the ratchets. Close all ratchets on your instruments. Now today I'm showing you how to set up without a roll towel on here. In class I will show you a roll towel. Now because we're doing an abdominal incision, I'm going to need to grab the muscle layers, so I'm going to grab 2 cokers. And those have those teeth so that they can go into that muscle layer. And I always put everything up in pairs except your scissors. Now normally I do know this is only a single thumb, but that's because we only have 1 in the pan. Now the next thing I would probably put up, because we're going in, we're not really sure what we're doing. So I'm not going to put too much up here, but I'll put 2 right angles. And right angles, you can either have them facing up or down. Either way is fine, it's not as sharp. Retractors, I'm going to put up a Kelly Richardson, and for now that's probably going to be good enough. Most of your pans will have bigger Richardsons, so you could put the bigger ones up there. Suction, I need a Yankower, so that's going to go up there as well. For sponges, because we're doing a big laparotomy, I want to put the bigger laparotomy sponges up here. I always put my sponges up in their pack, so if there's 5 in a pack, 5 go on my Mayo stand. Now back here I do have my suction tubing, my 2 light handles, and I'm also going to put my cautery over here. The other thing I'm going to do is put 2 non-perforating towel clips. One is going to go on the back of my cautery. We will learn later, or why later. Then the other I'm just going to set over here, and that can just sit here while I finish the other setup. I'm sorry, I forgot that I do need my scratch pad. Will go up there. If you are using peanuts, they will be mounted on a peon. And I actually like to keep my peanuts in my needle box, so you can just place those there. They're gonna go on a pan, and they're just gonna be pretty much to that tip. You can place 2 of those on your mayo stand. Again, these are for blunt dissection, so if they don't want to manually cut through, they can use the peanuts and manually dissect. The last thing I want to place up there is a sponge stick. So I'm going to take a Raytech, and there's 2 different techniques for folding this. The first one, I'm going to take the Raytech, lay it down, grab at that fold, and fold it in third and a third one more time, and then fold it in half. And then I put it about almost to that top there, but again, that's for blunt dissection. I'm not sure if I'm gonna need that, but I'm gonna keep it back here on my ringer. The other way to make one, and I do apologize in advance because I am not very good at doing this method, but you fold this in half, in a triangle, and it's open, and you tuck, and then tuck that down, and then clamp it. And that's another method for making the towels or the sponge stick. So I have all my instruments. Normally I would have a better roll towel maybe laying all nice up there. And then back over here you'll see I have my extra sponges, I have my Asepto, and everything is laid out. Eventually I will go and label my medications, but at this time I don't have any. So at this point you are completely set up for your case.